Hey, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com. In this video, we are going to look at the best Discover credit cards, do a little bit of a ranking, and also talk about who certain Discover cards are right for. Now, as an overview, Discover, even though they are big name, obviously, in the credit card world, they're not overly competitive when it comes to rewards cards versus some of the biggest banks that are fighting it out in the credit card wars. And that is kind of by design, because Discover has made a strategic decision that their target customer isn't just everybody, and it's not necessarily the people that are at the highest end and are spending the most and have the highest credit scores. They really are going after people that are new to credit, college students in particular, also people that maybe have had some credit problems in the past but have built their credit scores back to a decent place or are still working on rebuilding their credit scores. So if you're someone sitting between a 600 and 700 credit score, in particular, if you're sitting between 650 and 700, you are someone maybe that Discover would like the looks of, especially if you have any history of carrying a balance on your credit cards. And then again, if you are a college student, they would like to be the first credit card in your wallet and hopefully build up some loyalty so that you will stick with them down the road. So let's look at that lineup, starting with the Discover It Cashback card, the best Discover card out there, probably the Discover card that is most likely to be a card that you might target even if you weren't in one of the groups that I just talked about. If you had a higher credit score and you had plenty of income, there's still good things going on with the Discover It Cashback card. So no annual fee, you get 5% cash back on purchases in certain categories that change every calendar quarter. So they have a rotating 5% calendar throughout the year with Discover, where during that 3-month period, January through March, etc., you are going to get 5% cash back in whatever they have decided during that period. And is usually going to be everyday things like gas, groceries, restaurants, and other categories as well. So you get 5% in those. Anything that falls outside of those 5% categories, you are going to get 1% cash back on. So at least some cash back on everything. At the end of the first year of having the Discover It Cashback card, you are going to get the cashback bonus, which is going to double everything you earned in rewards during that first year. So you actually, at the end of that first year, could look back and say you got 10% in all of those categories that were the 5% categories, and you got 2% on everything else. So pretty nice in the first year, and then obviously even ongoing to get those 5% categories. It's not a bad calculation. Those 5% categories, you get the 5% on up to $1,500 of purchases each calendar quarter in however many categories they have combined. In addition, the Discover It Cashback card is offering a 0% APR on new purchases for the first 15 months that you have the card. You can also get a 0% interest rate on your balance transfers for those 15 months. So if you move a balance from another card onto this one, it can sit there at a 0% rate, although there is a 3% balance transfer fee if you choose to do that. At least in the short term, that balance transfer fee actually goes up down the line. But either way, 0% for 15 months, not bad. Now, Discover also offers the National Hockey League credit card. If you get the NHL credit card from any of the NHL teams, it is this card with that team's logo essentially stuck on the front of this card. So it's going to be all the same deal in terms of what you earn in rewards, but it will look good with whatever your favorite NHL team is. Next on the list is the Discover It Miles card. Now, Discover markets this card as if it is a travel credit card. It really is not, and I don't know exactly why they do it. Maybe it seems more exotic when you act like it's a travel card, but the way it works is you essentially have a no annual fee card that is giving you 1.5 miles per dollar charge to the card, but those miles are essentially just points that you can use for cash back, or you could use them to cancel out travel purchases you have made with the card. But it's really essentially the same thing. So your miles are the same as points. This is essentially a 1.5% cashback credit card where you're getting 1.5% back on everything. Doesn't matter if you redeem it for cash or you redeem it to offset purchases you've made, it's still the same thing in the end. That's not a bad thing, a 1.5% cashback credit card. You do have the cashback bonus, the match at the end of the first year. So really, you're getting 3% cashback on all of your purchases for the first year that you have the Discover It Miles card, which is not a bad deal, and you have the same 0% offer on this card, 0% for the first 15 months on new purchases and on balance transfers. So it's not a bad deal. It's just not a travel card. Now again, you could look at other cards on the market and see that there are other 1.5% cards. There are other 2% cards on the market as well. With Discover, oftentimes it's going to be someone that has maybe a little lower credit score that is going after a card like this, or that is getting mail about a card like this. Not a bad card, but there are better cards out there. And then the third card concept from Discover, and all the other cards from Discover are sort of derivations of these first three that we are going to talk about. But the third one here is the Discover It Chrome Gas and Restaurant card. Another no annual fee card that is giving you cash back, but overall for most people, probably less cash back, and probably most people that get this card are going to be maybe a little lower down on the credit score scale, especially if they're being targeted through the mail for this card. So no annual fee card, you're getting 2% cash back on your gas station and restaurant purchases on up to $1,000 worth of purchases in those two categories combined per calendar quarter. Everything else going to give you 1% cash back. So for most people, you're probably going to end up earning less cash back with this card than you would with the Discover It Cashback card, and probably even the Discover It Miles card. It also has the same cashback match at the end of the first year, where you're going to double your rewards in the first year, so you will get something more with this card, but it's a little worse than the other two. Now, Discover has three other cards to talk about. They're not sort of the mainstream credit cards like the first three we've talked about. In fact, they are sort of knockoffs of those cards for different markets. So first off, there are two Discover college student credit cards. There is the Discover It Cashback card for students. It is essentially almost the same as that Discover It Cashback card that we've already talked about. You've got the 5% rotating categories with 1% on everything else. You've got the cashback match at the end of the first year. The only thing you don't have, the only thing that's really different with this card is the fact that that 0% offer is not going to be quite as generous. You've got 0% for the first 6 months on your new purchases with the card. You don't have a balance transfer offer, but otherwise you're getting the same card from Discover that, you know, some older adult might be getting, and all they're really getting more than you is a 0% offer for a longer period of time. And then Discover does also offer a student version of the Discover Chrome Gas and Restaurant card that we just talked about. Again, it is essentially the same card with not quite as generous 0% offer, but you're getting that 2% on gas station and restaurant purchases, 1% on everything else. Like I said, I think this card isn't quite as good as the Discover It Cashback card that has the 5% rotating categories. So if I were a student, I'd go for the other one first. And then finally is the Discover It Secured credit card. And while it comes last on this list, and it's probably the least desirable of the Discover cards, when you actually compare it to other secured credit cards on the market, it's pretty good. So a secured credit card is a card that you get when you either have credit that is too bad to qualify for other credit cards, or maybe you're so new to credit, don't have any credit history, and for whatever reason you're having trouble getting anyone to approve you for your first credit card, then you might get a secured credit card. So it works just like any other credit card. You just have to put down a refundable security deposit in order to get the card. So basically, you have to put a little skin in the game, at least $200 you send to Discover. They kind of keep it off to the side, and that is a way to sort of give you a credit card on training wheels. And if you show that you can use the card in the right way, they will then give that money back to you down the road. So with the Discover Secured card, this is one of the better ones on the market for a few reasons. Other than that refundable security deposit, which again, you will get back, you don't have an annual fee on this card. You do get some rewards on this card. They are the same rewards on the Discover It Chrome cards that we've already talked about, the 2% on gas and restaurants, 1% everywhere else. And when you look at secured cards on the market, Discover has a reputation of being one of the best for getting you from the secured with the security deposit to unsecured, where they give you your money back. So oftentimes 6 or 7 months, if you have made all your payments on time, Discover has a reputation for getting you that money back pretty quickly and getting you into an unsecured card where you no longer have to have any money down. So for a lot of people, Discover is the place that they sort of start if they need a secured credit card. So even though Discover's credit cards aren't super competitive, if you just went to head-to-head matchups with some other cards on the market, they know who their target market is for certain cards, and hopefully I've shown you that they actually do make good sense for certain people. Discover can be a good choice. I would love to hear your comments in the comments section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. And as always, please go to proudmoney.com, where we do credit card reviews and we talk personal finance and we talk deals and all sorts of other fun stuff too. If you're not going to leave a comment or you are not going to go to the website, I think next you should watch this video.